We can't edit the thing.
You say we can't edit?
Can. I was just making sure. He was,
okay.
Yeah, we can't edit.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is in your hood. I am absolutely Adia.
I am the franchise.
And this is the Quad.
Yes, indeed. The Quad, we're in the building. We have a special guest today.
Yeah.
Mr. We're going to call him Coach Xander for today.
What's
Coach
going on?
Xander was born and raised outside of Washington, D.C. in a town called Tacoma Park. Parents emigrated from the D.C. area in the 70s from Trinidad and Tobago. Tobago?
Tobago. That's right.
Considers himself
TNT?
a Trinidadian
You done know.
who was born in America, raised in a very strict West Indian Catholic household, and grew up with tons of questions about any and everything. You don't come across as a inquisitive one. That's a joke. He questions everything and sometimes overanalyzes even the most simplest things. I can relate. So he moved to Dallas in the summer of 2011 during one of the hottest summers that we've had in years. And listen, I remember because 1998 I moved here, and I was supposed to move here in May, and they was like, yo, check that temperature before you move out there. I didn't move till October. It was just too damn hot.
Yeah.
But you like the heat, though.
Oh, man. Love it.
Very good. All right. Let me finish out your bio here. So you're married to a genius seamstress named Anaya. I'm sorry. Her business is Anaya Grace Designs.
That's right.
You can follow that on Instagram. And he has two wonderful children, Aiden and Ava. And he's very passionate about coaching and helping others and to be empowered to fight through life's championships and challenges. And another little tidbit is that he loves to dance.
Done know.
Hold on, look. Bust a wine.
Hey, I'm not afraid to bust a wine. Never.
Okay, so now we got Coach Xander in the building. We're going to talk about one or two things over here. I wanted to get into because you said the Catholic background, right? Catholic household?
Yeah.
Catholic household.
It's very strict Catholic household. Wake us up every Sunday, go to church for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
After church, you got Sunday school.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
I was an altar boy. I was an usher. I was in the choir. I was the founding member of the junior youth ministry.
Okay.
President of the youth. I was in it.
You was doing all that.
Doing everything.
Yeah. So in reference to like the topic of religion, and I don't want to say religion versus spirituality, I would say religion and spirituality. Just on that topic alone, how would we begin a discussion from Coach Xander's point of view about religion?
So from my point of view, man, I think religion is good for who it's good for.
Right.
Spirituality is good for who it's good for. I mean, the same thing. If you need it, certain people will need that that foundation, and I'm not going to knock it. I needed it for that time, but I think I've grown, and I don't want to say that I've grown like, I've gone above it, because it is what it is, but I think I've surpassed needing the formalized religion.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I don't want to say too much contentious stuff, man, about religion,
No, we're just having a conversation.
Okay.
We're just talking over here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Speak your mind, Coach.
Well, if I'm going to speak my mind, man, I think that religion has been bastardized. It's been manipulated.
Oh, no question.
It's been utilized to really kind of mentally enslave a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And
throughout history.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are kind of stuck in their religion right now and waiting for a savior to come and save them instead of actually empowering themselves.
Looking within.
Exactly.
No
Exactly.
doubt. No, I can't disagree with that, man. And I also agree with the fact that I'm at the point where if religion works for you, then that's great.
It works. Yeah.
That works. That's not necessarily going to work for me, right? And I also agree that throughout history, religion has been used as many things, and we've seen it been used as a weapon as well.
Exactly.
So it makes me at this age in life, how I look at things like, well, I want to make sure that I'm looking at things a certain way and being open to receiving other things. Because I think for me, that's the most difficult part is when I deal with people who might say, I'm Catholic, and if you're a Christian or if you're something else, then you're going to hell.
Yeah.
That's difficult for me to really just formulate out of my mouth. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
As far as spirituality, though.
So I think spiritual, if let me put it like this, man. We all have that one central spirit amongst us all. That's the breath. I mean, that's the I am. That is who we are. Like, if you take away your name, franchise, who are you? right? If you
Yeah,
take away your
right.
career, who
Yeah,
are you?
we take off all the coats.
Take off every layer. Who are
Mhm.
you?
Right.
You are. That's it. I
You are.
am.
Right.
And-
That's a complete sentence.
Yeah, definitely,
Indeed.
definitely. And I think it, on my journey, man, have you ever heard of something called the dark night of the soul?
No.
So the dark night of the soul, I think it's also kind of stemmed and founded in Catholic or Christianity, where a person goes to the deepest, darkest parts of themselves and sees themselves for a sinful creature or a malignant or negative person. You see the worst part of you. I think it takes someone to get that far to get into that spiritual zone, to really understand your spirit, who you truly are, the good and the bad, balanced in one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you talk about being a life coach and helping people kind of transform their lives, can you walk us through the process? Kind of your goal. Do you have separate goals? Like in the beginning, does it transform over time, or is it like a cookie cutter process, or does the process change based on the person?
I think you hit the nail on the head, really. There's a lot of coaches out there who might have that cookie cutter approach, that methodology, but the way that I coach is I look at the person as a whole person, and we talk about what is it that you're struggling with, what is the goal, what is something that you want to obtain, and then we make out a map to do that. And sometimes on that pathway, we figure out that, you know what, that's not really what I want.
Okay.
Then we adjust. So with that cookie cutter approach, it's like, no, we don't adjust. We have to meet that goal.
Right.
No.
Stay on track.
It's about being human, and at certain times we're gonna have to adjust and move a different way, move a different method, because we're learning as we go.
So what type of things do people uncover about themselves? Is it just like life goals,
Right.
different things that they have, like things from their past that they recollect with during this process?
So I'll give you an example. There's a gentleman who reached out to me, and he said that he wanted to be a project manager. He said, hey, I want to be a project manager. This is what I want to do. He broke down everything. And so I'm like, let's just talk. Let's just have a conversation. What do you do right now? And he kind of explained to me what he did at his job. He managed projects. I'm like, dude, you're a project manager.
Already, right.
So what are you really trying to do? And as we started talking about his passion, I realized that he really wanted to be an athletic coach. Like he wanted to manage kids.
Wow.
He wanted to like.
Well, that's a project management. It's a different type of project.
Right. It's a different type of project, but we had to uncover really his passion. And what he wanted to do was he wanted to make a living managing projects, which is great. Yeah, do that. But what's your true passion? What do you truly want to do? And that's my coaching methodology. I say methodology, but the way I do it is I just uncover those limiting beliefs, those self-doubt about yourself, and really try to understand what is your true passion, what's your true goal here.
So do you find that when you're dealing with people, like for the most part, do you find that it's just a matter of people being unaware of themselves and not really knowing what they really want?
Yeah. I mean, that's really what it is people don't know how to ask the tough questions to themselves. They have listened to all the external feedback outside. Oh, the parents say, oh, you go into computers. You're really good at math. You should do this. Your friends are saying, oh man, you should do this. You're a great athlete. What should I do?
Right.
What do I
Ask
actually want
yourself
to do?
the question.
Yeah. And so what a coach does is puts up a mirror, really, and just ask you those questions. What's stopping you? Why? I mean, there's 5 whys is another methodology. Just keep on asking why. So why do you believe that? And we start to uncover really what your true purpose is, what your true passion is.
Motivational interviewing.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that, okay, so just the demographics of your what would you call them?
Clientele.
Yeah. See, I would call them grasshoppers, right? So your grasshoppers, right? Would you say mostly male, mostly female?
Mostly female, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as far as the males are concerned, when you talk to males, the topic of love relationships, how often does that come up as a challenge for males?
With men, it doesn't come up too often because, men aren't comfortable talking to other men about relationship issues.
Okay.
When it's usually about love and relationships, it's, hey man, I met this girl, but I'm dating this other girl, and I don't know what to do. So when it comes to that type of stuff, yeah, they'll open up and they're like, oh yeah, I'm the man, I'm doing this. But when it comes to, man, I'm just not fulfilling my wife right now. Men aren't really that open about stuff like that.
Right.
I try to, pull it out and make sure that people understand that, hey, I'm trustworthy. You can talk to me about anything. I'm non-judgmental. I might ask questions, but it's out of curiosity. It's really just to kind of develop that rapport. So.
And just to get the whole, I would think that to get the entire picture.
Yeah.
Sometimes, again, they probably come at you this way, but this is really the issue. Exactly. And you got to kind of go around the bases in order to get to that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was thinking about, as a coach and just looking at the topics that we're going to be talking about today, and love and relationships did come up. So I kind of want to get into that about we could talk about love. We could talk about self-love. Yeah. What I mean? We could talk about relationships. And relationships, not necessarily a loving relationship, but just even relationships between people. Yeah. Because I'm noticing more and more that is an area that I probably don't give as much energy to, right? But I really need to. You know what I'm saying? Like I really need to, just not necessarily just as much as my loving relationship, but interacting with, say, people I work with. I mean, I spend a lot of time with these people, so it's important to establish a certain type of relationship. So let's talk about love.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I mean, I was listening to Single and Searching, the episode a couple weeks ago, and I'm gonna do some investigating to find out who this gentleman was.
Oh no!
I forgot to guess, but I think I know who it was.
All right.
But Adia said something on there that I wanted to touch on, and we were talking. You guys were talking about the alpha female. Like you're an alpha female. And like, what does that mean to you? What does it mean to you to be an alpha female?
To me, it doesn't, because I don't really consider, people say that to me. I think to me, I would define it as just being outspoken, strong-willed, determined, goal-oriented, kind of career-driven, things that I've seen associated with it. But I don't feel those specific characteristics just make up that type of female. Okay. But I know that that's kind of what goes along with it.
So I heard a lot of things that you just said, and I didn't hear anything when it comes to relationships. An alpha female, let's break it down. Talk to me about sex. Talk to me about dating. Talk to me about dominance, submission. What does an alpha woman do? Is she comfortable with her sexuality?
Yeah, very.
Okay. So I love where you hit with that, and I think that I want to just quickly tell you guys a little bit my business. Okay, so I married an alpha female, and I was a beta male. Okay, so like she really led the marriage. She really it was what she wanted, and that's not a bad thing, by the way. It's not a bad thing because that's what was necessary at that time. Right. But then when the balances kind of shifted, I became the alpha male. And I wouldn't even say she's a beta female. She's still an alpha female. She's still very strong. But that's what attracted me to her. That's what got me, is that, wow, she's strong. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she wants. And she's not willing to sacrifice anything for that. So when we started talking about alpha female, you gave me a lot of career goals. But I want to hear about the relationship, the love. And you need to be proud of that. You need to take command of your sexuality. Take command. And when the right alpha man comes, or even a beta male who is comfortable with you taking the lead, then so be it.
Alpha females in the building.
I wasn't ready for this part.
Are you blushing?
That's the beauty of the podcast. We on the couch right now.
I don't like to talk about myself.
Okay, all right.
But noted. I'm taking notes over here. I'm learning.
Yeah. So what we talked about earlier is like my demographics. A lot of females come to me asking me, about, well, I'm dating this guy. I'm doing, you know what? The information that I give them, the feedback that I give them is be the alpha. Like for real, go after what you want. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed of your sexuality. Don't be ashamed of your prowess. Whatever you want out of the relationship, go get it.
Well, I think, as you say that, it makes me think about, we were talking, some people from home and from New Orleans, and then some of the ladies I met since I've been here in Dallas. And guys always say that the women in Dallas are very aggressive. And see, we didn't grow up that way. I've never been the one, like, I flirt and I play a lot with guys, but I'm never the initiator that's like, hey, what's up with it? You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's awkward.
Is that how they talk in Dallas?
I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, I'm so used to the guy kind of taking the lead in that department. So it's still weird for me to be the one to move it forward. I think I'm really clear with my intentions, but I'm not always the initiator. Like, I kind of, you know, want to be courted.
Okay. Yeah, well, no, that's understandable.
Yeah,
that's understandable, being courted, because I think that from a male's perspective, even being a married guy, you know, we get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? We get comfortable. We get complacent. And I'm always thinking about ways not to get that way. But I think that it just has to be something that's active in your mind from the beginning. Like, you have to decide that this is how I'm going to do this, and I'm going to keep myself from getting uncomfortable, even though as we continue to grow our lives together, routine tends to seep in. Right? But it's all about intention, in my opinion.
Exactly. I mean, and if we go back to the coaching for a minute, a lot of people say things. A lot of people give you their representative and tell you the nice words and all that stuff. But you have to get to the intention behind the words, the emotion behind the core beliefs, some of it limiting beliefs that are holding them back. It's the same thing in relationships. You know, sometimes we say things to our significant other because that's what we believe they want to hear.
Right.
You know, but we don't want to have those, you know, those conversations that are going to be uncomfortable, that's going to make someone feel, you know, weakened or threatened. So,
yeah. And then again, I think that, you know, when I'm talking to some of the young homies, you know, talking about relationships and things like that, I try to tell them, listen, you need to set things from, I mean, not to say you're not going to grow and progress, but certain things you need to kind of set from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? You need to set your communication styles, and all of these things need to be set as a foundation, and then you kind of build from there. If you're in a relationship, like, as time goes on, or even if you're not in a relationship, you're going to change, right? Yeah. Some people think that if you're in a relationship for some reason, you're not supposed to change. But there's still, change can be growth too. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily negative. But yeah, we could talk about relationships
all day.
I enjoy the topic because I'm always learning too, and Adia gets shy, and then, you know what I'm saying?
No, I don't want to talk about me. We can talk about everybody else.
Everybody else, yeah. No, I feel
we talk about mine on the break.
Okay.
But no, it's all good stuff. I think we need to have these conversations and have them often, and really be open about intentions and what we really want to get out of every relationship that we have, whether it's business relationships, personal. The only way that it's beneficial to you is if you let people know what you want. They can't, you know, help you achieve what you want if they don't know what you want.
Yeah, that was a hard lesson for me to learn in my marriage, really. Like, you know, after a few years, I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to try no more. I'm not going to talk to you no more, because, you know, I just was like, I was hitting brick walls because I was making, what is it called? I read a lot of books. So there's a gentleman, I think his name is Robert Glover, No More Mr. Nice Guy. I'll have to look that up later. But yeah, he talked about making covert contracts. And I was making a covert contract with my wife.
Covert.
Yeah. So I would do something, expect something in return. Okay. If I wash the dishes, she'll give me sexy time. You know, I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna wash the dishes. I'm gonna take the trash out. I'm gonna go through the list. And I sit back and wait. Okay, anytime.
Yeah. There she comes.
There she goes. 10 o'clock.
Right.
Lights go off. Wait, she going to sleep.
Yeah, right. Hold on. She put the kids to sleep.
It didn't work out like that.
It didn't work out.
But
so then I started getting resentful, and I started realizing, you know, I'm doing this to myself because I didn't speak up.
Right.
I didn't speak up. I didn't say, hey, look, I washed the dishes.
Right.
I done cleaned everything. Come on, put that thing on.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So.
That's all. But yeah, but that highlights the importance of communication in any relationship. You know what I'm saying?
In every relationship.
Business.
That's right.
And I think that we have to create more, or be more intentional and create more of those opportunities to have those communications. You know what I'm saying? And make those agreements and not those, would you call them covert contracts? Covert contracts. I love that, man.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Well, that was exciting first
Yeah,
half.
it was.
Believe it or not, it's already finished. I
It
told you
woke
it's gonna
me
go
up.
by
Wow,
quick.
wow.
Yeah. So when we get back with Coach Xander, we're gonna talk about a few different things. Maybe get into some self-love, some Black consciousness. You know, the path to true freedom. Talk about community. Talk about politics. You got book clubs going on. You got a lot happening right now.
Lots going on.
Yeah. So we'll be back for the second half with Coach Xander.